Hi there everybody, how's it going? Good to see you again. Sorry I missed last night. I was in Wellington and spoke to the Capital Property Investors Association. Had a packed room. It was the biggest crowd that ever had, I think, so that was good. And really good bunch of people. Had a good time while I was down there. So, back to the series that we're doing, and I just we'll finish off tonight the kind of one side of the false self. So we talked last time about the perfectionistic side, and a part of that is the narcissistic self. And so I just want to cover off what narcissism is in terms of the traits of it. Now, I'm going to talk about it in somewhat extreme terms, not quite the right phrase, but the kind of thicker end of it so that you get the point. Now, I'm not suggesting those of you who may be narcissists, and there won't be many of you, wouldn't be watching and wouldn't be interested, wouldn't believe me. So it's more that many of us have some narcissistic traits, and they are an issue with us with our investing in things, because it even though it's rooted in self-hatred and requires self-forgiveness, you'd think with self-hatred that we would undermine ourselves, but what it does do is it gives us a superior view of ourselves, and it's a false one, and therefore can get us into trouble. So I'm not expecting any of you to go, oh yeah, I can tick every box, but I just want to, so that you understand what it is. And that some of you may be in relationships where you have a partner who is like this, and so the first step to dealing with that is to understand what's behind it. So let's talk a bit about what narcissism is. Now, Narcissus was I think a Greek god. Forgive me if I got it's a myth where his punishment for not being able to love others was to gaze into a mirror and be consumed with love for himself. But some of the traits of narcissists are this: that they have a sense of it's a false sense, but a huge sense of self-importance, and that means that they exaggerate their achievements. They'll often be can't remember how to spell exaggerate. They'll often talk about things that they're either simply lying, or what is, how big was the fish? It was actually this big, and suddenly it's this big. They expect to be recognised as superior without necessarily having any reason why they should be. They tend to live in a fantasy world, and this is something that may be quite common for some of us. They live in a fantasy world where they have unlimited success, power, and the various other things that are associated with it. Beauty. And around the space on this board, but you'll get it. They, without exception, consider that they are special and unique, and they can only be understood by other special and unique people. And so they tend to often will be involved in organisations or groups or clubs that are exclusive and only have special people in, because it's the only people that are good enough to be able to associate with them. They have a constant need for excessive admiration. They need to be being fawned over. Excessive admiration. I have to go over here. I hope you can see it, because I'm talking to you as well. It won't matter if it's hard to read. They have a sense of self-entitlement. In other words, it doesn't matter what the rules are, they're entitled to things that other people aren't, like some unofficial royalty. 6, this is one of the main ones, that they will use others for their own advantage. That's the most common thread that is always a classic telltale sign. They lack empathy. Right? They don't really care about other people. They don't engage other people. They don't identify with the feelings and needs of others. That again is very, very common. They are both envious of others and they automatically assume that others are envious of them. And lastly, down the bottom, I'm sorry if you can't quite see it, is that they are arrogant and superior around others. Right, so that's the core of narcissism, and it creates attitudes and behaviour in us that is very false, is a very strong false self. At the root of, sorry about my collar, at the root of narcissism is incredible insecurity and low self-worth, and so it displays itself in different ways. Very often it becomes eroticized. People who are suffering with narcissistic tendencies tend to live in a very sexual world. They're very often gay. That's not uncommon for that to be a normal part of the gay community, but however, when they're not, they'll often go to sexual perversion and have to have if you're a narcissistic woman, you have to be beautiful. If you're a narcissistic man, you have to have the trophy cosmetically enhanced wife and all of that. So it's quite a insidious thing. And so, as I say, I'm not explaining this to you because I think you're all watching this and this is what you are, but to understand it in others and understand those tendencies in yourself. If you can relate to some of these things and you kind of wondered why, then what's actually behind it is insecurity, but it is being displayed or it is coming out as a powerful false self. And I'm not going to go into too much else. So I just wanted to, present this to you, and then tomorrow we'll look at the other end. Just want to quickly read you. I've printed off some stuff that I've done of some of the things. If you can answer yes to some of these questions, then, or if you're in a relationship or this is you, you'll understand this very powerful insecurity is operating in your life. So this is written from the point of view of it being another person. Is there an important person in your life that causes you a great deal of pain? Is there a person who puts down your needs but unreasonably requires your constant attention to his or her desires? And this could be a spouse, but it could be a boss as well. Does this person not take responsibility for his or her own actions but blames you and others and anyone else for them? They make you feel bad when you're around them, ashamed, unable to concentrate, inadequate. They will pull praise from you, and they will praise themselves for doing the tasks that you've done. And so at the same time they will devalue your work, and they will take praise for it wherever they can. Does this person overestimate his or her own self-importance? Is this person unable to understand or be sensitive to your thoughts, feelings, or experience, even when you've fully expressed and explained them? This person will use others and you because he or she expects to be given whatever they want, regardless of the cost to others. They are arrogant and selfish. They inappropriately monopolise conversations to keep attention on themselves. They are insensitive to how their comments and the harsh sound of their words can hurt others. They are emotionally cold, endeavour to control your life. And lastly, they cause you to feel as though your personality is changing and that you are walking on eggshells. So that's what narcissism, when it gets to extremes, is displayed as. But what is rooted in, as I've already said, is a deep, deep insecurity. There's a small child that is behind this, and as we get to forgiving ourselves and letting the false masks come down, that's where healing will flow. So tomorrow we'll talk about the more introverted personality, probably take 2 days on that, and then on the third day we'll actually deal with, okay, now we're ready to start exploring forgiving ourselves and getting healed from these things that I've been presenting to you. Thank you for your time. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.